Okay. Is he crying? Is is that what that is? Is he fake crying? Dude, are people buying this? Like, is this real? Are you serious right now?
When I started in this industry a long time ago, and I started around the same time with people like Monica, Chris, Sabat, and Sean Schimmel, and Greg Ayers, and Chris Patton, and a lot of us started around the same time. Over the last 6 or 7 years, the industry has become dominated by slime balls, dishonesty, backstabbing, broken promises, fake friends, slander, ego, money, self-serving agendas, corporate greed. It's no longer an industry that I wish to be a part of.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
As if you were allowed to be a part of it anymore anyway. You got kicked out for being a slime ball, a self-serving backstabber. So the tweet on this was like kind of funny just because, well, friends, we are back here again. Vic is sensing that someone in his sphere is getting some attention, has crashed back into the spotlight to remind everyone that he was canceled 5.5 years ago because Vic Mignogna can't let it go. Oh my god, this man is unbelievable. Unfucking believable, this dude. Like, then what if you don't want to be a part of it anymore, why are you complaining? Bro, please. You have done nothing but make it worse for yourself for the past 5 years. Stop. And it gets better, right? Screamy Broccoli Man tells Alex in confidence that he's hired a crisis PR team who told him not to talk publicly about how much he feels like Nick Rakita ruined his life. And Alex just spills absolutely everything he told him on a live stream. So you remember yesterday we talked about how Vic Mignogna was supposed to do Vic Mignogna tells all about the truth about Nick Rakita, and most people have been critical, myself included, that Nick Rakita's influence and handling of Vic Mignogna's situation with that GoFundMe and the money pressure was like if Vic wanted to go after anybody, it should be like that Ty Beard who was the Nick's friend who was hired with that GoFundMe money to represent Vic, who was not a defamation lawyer in his defamation cases that they encouraged him to file via this money, etc., etc., etc. Don't listen to YouTube lawyers. That he should go after them for potentially like botching his case. If that was a legal route he could possibly take, and he should probably stop going after the people he sued because they're not the ones who screwed up his case, right? Anyway, clearly he's not doing that. As you can see, he's still naming those people as if they've done anything. Sure, whatever. He was supposed to show up on Alex Stein to be like, oh, he tells the truth. And Alex was like, well, Nick Rakita, blah, 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 right? Which we watched yesterday. But now this is something a little bit different. So check this shit.
So let's lighten it up a bit. Let's talk about Vic. You had Vic scheduled on your show yesterday. What happened?
Well, it was an epic fumble, but really, Vic is a friend of mine, and Vic actually wanted to come on the show. He actually called me when things were just first starting to happen. He didn't realize how bad they were, right? They didn't have like their police reports and all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then once he realized the neglect stuff, Vic told me that Nick reached out to him. Nick has reached out to him, and Nick has been nice to him in text. And I'm like, Vic and I start to have this basically a friendly argument, because I'm friends with Vic. Like, he lives in the Metroplex. I've hung out with him a few times. He's been on my show.
So one thing that I want to point out here that Alex is admitting here is that Vic and Alex were planning on being opportunists in this Rakita law situation. So some bad shit happened to Rakita, so they wanted to make streams about it and like do a reveal all to take advantage of the clicks and views and the notoriety around it to, you know, for attention. You know, something about backstabbing and bringing people down for their own agendas and like for some clout, just for some attention. Anyway, Vic is the problem that he likes to describe, but I digress. I'll stop with that for now. I start ironically using that word raw incorrectly until I start using it incorrectly unironically by accident.
Show a bunch, like, he's actually a pretty laid back, nice guy, but Nick has manipulated this guy because he's a voice actor. Nick is a little theater kid, you know, for lack of a better word. And I mean that with all due respect. I'm just saying he's an artist guy. He doesn't know legality or whatever. And like, let's be real with Vic. He probably did flirt with these girls, but he would never do. He's one of the most professional guys I know. What he was accused of was not as bad as they were, but he was so dumb to take legal advice from a crackhead like Nick that raised a GoFundMe for him that he had no control of, where now that, yes, his legal fees are taken care of the first time, but he still owes over hundreds of thousands of dollars in restitution for their legal fees. So it was just a big fuck up that any normal attorney would have half a brain would probably tell him not to do it and just move on with your career. Try not to make it a bigger deal than it already is, because that's just how cancel culture works. People forget.
If people forget and move on, then it's not cancel culture, is it? Really? You're saying the quiet part out loud at that point. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Like, if it's cancel culture and you're truly getting canceled, then people being like, hey, this is a problem, and if you stop doing that thing and continue on with your career, people will forget about it and ostensibly forgive you for that thing, meaning that you're not getting canceled at all. That's not... Mm. 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 Don't listen. I mean, I agree with Alex about this, quite frankly. I also believe that Nick Rokita fucked over Vic Mignogna. Like, I don't think it was solid legal advice. I don't think they hired a good lawyer for it. I think his case was fumbled, is a nice way to put it. I think it was absolutely botched, in my humble opinion. Right. As not a legal expert, as also an artsy-fartsy artist person who, I'm not going to know anything about law or business. What do you mean? I also think that there was, like, it's not like Vic didn't benefit from Rokita as well, by the way. Just because they botched the case, it doesn't mean that Nick Rokita didn't get Vic and his situation a lot of attention and get a lot of money for Vic. So they were ostensibly using each other, and it just ended up not working out at all in Vic's favor because of how badly the case was botched. If Vic was smarter, then he probably could have finagled it and utilized it to his favor more than he did, but he would need a PR person to do that, and he hasn't got one, unless he does now. If he has one now, then maybe he can do something about it, but if he has one now and then immediately goes and starts doing streams bitching about being canceled, when the dude has a platform and a good number of fans, that if this one is the video that goes live on the channel, will have at least 1 or 2 Vic Mignogna fans down in the comment section.
Forget about this crap, right? And because of Nick, he feels burned, but Vic thinks that he can just get off scot-free by just trying to avoid it. And I'm like, dude, you have to disavow, because when you Google Vic and Vic Mignogna and Nick Rokita, there's pictures of them on the beach hugging. There's pictures of them drinking and smoking cigars. People are going to associate, like, Vic's having a panic attack because now his name's constantly getting dragged in the mud by Steel Toe. I'm bringing it up, but I'm trying to defend Vic. But now he's getting dragged into it. Vic does not like that. He's hired a crisis management team to try to help him deal with this. That's how bad Vic is feeling about all this.
All right. So I actually agree with Alex Stein, and I don't like that. He's right. He's right that Vic needs to figure out what and how he wants to deal with this Rokita Law situation, because they are shown to be and believed to be publicly very close-knit, very established to be known together. But it's not the type of deal that I think Alex is describing. I think Alex Stein has a habit of performative sensationalization. Like, he's sensationalizing, like, that association. It's not really that hard to be like, yeah, I didn't know about a lot of this at the time. I really hope the guy gets some help. If he comes to talk to me about it or whatever, I'm gonna be as nice to him as possible and help him get that help, and I hope he gets the help that he, like, it's not that hard to make that kind of a statement, right? It's not that hard to distance yourself from something like that, so, like, the fact that Alex is, like, blowing it up as if it's that difficult to do, it's not. You just have to, you know, be honest. And, like, now that we know that also Vic and Rakita were talking now in the background and getting along, and that's basically the reason why Vic never spoke out about Rakita, and then was going to as soon as shit hit the fan, and then changed his mind, is like, so who's the backstabber in the industry, Vic? What? That's you? You're describing yourself? I mean, I guess he backed out at the last minute for now, but has hired a PR crisis team. I doubt it. I doubt that's true. At least not as the way Alex is describing it. I think that's either sensationalized or Vic is just lying to Alex, which wouldn't surprise me either. Like, I can tell you how to fix Vic's reputation really quick if you really want to know. And he has a really good opportunity he could take right this very second, and do it. Particularly with how, like, much of a problem this whole Rakita thing is going to be, right? If you're a fan of Vic Mignogna and you see this is actual real PR advice. Shut the fuck up. Go away. Go away. Don't live stream. Don't make posts. You can make, like, a generalized statement of, like, hey, all this stuff going on with Nick Rakita and our history has really hit me very hard, and I need to take some time to reflect and kind of see where I stand on some things, and this has like some generalized statement like that, and then just take a break. Just take a break from social media, go away, focus on your projects, do some charity work with your racist church or whatever the fuck. Go and do something, go teach a course in voice acting or something somewhere, blah blah blah. And then, like, just chill for like a year or 3. I would probably say minimum 3 years. Shut the fuck up. Then start up social media again and be like, hey, I'm coming back to social media. This is my new account. Follow me here for blah, and whatever it is he wants to do. If he wants to do voice acting advice, if he wants to do hangouts with fans, if he wants to do commentary, like, I mean, if I had to really advise him as a career move, he should probably move into political punditry. If I wanted to give him like a real career advice to make money, he should move into start moving himself into the right-wing sphere, and start moving into that, do a little bit of what Kevin Sorbo's doing, but 1, do it better, and 2, do it on in a podcast format. That's what I would tell him to do. Not that I ever advise anybody be a right-wing grifter, but he's a right-wing guy. Just go do it. Just go do it. Just go start your thing and then join the Daily Wire. That's what he should do. That's his, unless he's actually going to change who do some real self-reflection and actually understand the criticisms around him. Unless he's actually going to make very real life changes and have very real revelations about who he is as a person, he should go into right-wing political grifting. That would be the best career move for Vic Mignogna. As someone who used to hang in that sphere, he would likely make some splash, especially with electrons. Oh, elections coming up. Yeah, electrons. Duh. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Elections. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. He could do a very, very good job. As a matter of fact, especially if he waits 3 years, if he doesn't show up for 3 years, he will have, if he waits for 3 years, then kind of establishes himself doing a podcast for 1 year after he gets back, and then shifts his podcast into political punditry as the next set of elections come up, because by the next set of elections, you probably won't have to deal with Trump, and not having to deal with Trump is probably going to be the best avoidance he could do for for that grift, because having to jump in right into Trump is going to be like, eesh. So if he takes 3 years off, jumps into doing like just do a podcast, just like a normal chatty podcast, and then like shift it into talking about the political sphere more and more, and then as the election comes, and you use part of the election coming up as the reason why, because it's like, it's an important thing, we have to talk about the election, and then get like an appearance on Tim Pool and blah blah blah, and talk to Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson will absolutely have him on to have a conversation about like, oh, the left woke media canceled this man because he was a Christian and made all these fake Me Too accusations. Yeah, he's got, like, it's in the bag. The trail writes itself. It's not even hard. It would be so easy. And it's not like he has to fake the belief either. Like, he's already shown that he's racist and transphobic. Right? Like, that's not, he's a bigot, so it's not like he has to try that hard. He's anti-science. He thinks evolution is fake. Like, he would have such an easy time just sliding right in there. Isn't it scary? Is it scary to, like, with how easy their grift is? And, like, Vic Mignogna is perfect for it. He's, like, straight in line. All he needs to do is take a little bit of a break. Honestly, if he wanted to do the right-wing grift, he wouldn't even need to take as much of a, like, he wouldn't even have to go for 3 years. He could probably take a break for 2. And it's not like he's doing a whole lot with his channels or with his thing. All he's doing is sitting around bitching. It's not really getting him anywhere. He's at least spinning his wheels. So, like, taking a break will actually, like, build up some tension for people. And a lot of his fans who are fans of him right now are diehard fans anyway, because they've still been fans with him through this entire experience. So because they don't care what he does or doesn't do, they just like him because he's Vic Mignogna. So it's not like those people are going to go anywhere. When he comes back, they'll be there, right? So it's so easy. It's so easy.